Hello everyone, this is CoolPro195 and welcome to my recording test for the Elgato game Capture HD60S, recording at 1080p 60fps, and I'll be playing Oddworld New and Tasty for the PlayStation 4 for this test, which is basically a HD remake from the ground up of the original Oddworld Abe's Odyssey game back in 1997 for the PlayStation 1, and Just Add Water really did a wonderful job polishing up this game. It's like they literally added water in order to polish the game up entirely, even though everything was clearly remade from the ground up. And yeah, ignore that little bit of lag, that's just coming from the PS4, it's not from the actual capture card, so that doesn't affect the performance of the recording at all, so yeah. I even noticed that when I was playing, when I had the PS4 hooked up to my television. So yeah, I'll just be playing quickly through Rupture Farms, but just the first Rupture Farm section in hard mode, you know, for the original PS1 classic quality. Well, not quality, I meant difficulty, but yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'll just be playing through the first section of Rupture Farms, just to test this out real quick, and it's really nice.
This is Rupture Farms. They say it's the biggest meat processing plant on Oddworld. I used to work here. Well, I was really a slave, like all the others. That's me. My name is Abe. I was Employee of the Year. Now I'm dead meat. I crossed the meanest boss in the world. Mullet the Gluckin. My whole life changed in just one day. I was working late one night at Rupture Farms. We used to make meat munchies. Until the meaches were through. We still made pear-bite pies. And we made some good scrab cakes, too. I thought I had a good job, but that was before I knew how we'd make new and tasty. I was still to find. The truth, it turned out. Now that would blow my mind. The Gluckins were scared, because profits were grim. Pear-bites and scrabs had been turning up thin.
As you can see, things are going down. Watch.
But Mullet was cool.
Show him.
He had a plan. This new kind of meat? What? It was us!
We got a lot of new luck. We'll chop them up.
I just had to to escape. I just had to be free, and I didn't even know I had a destiny. So, get me out of here! Freeze! Attack! Pick him! Get him!
Okay people, so I figured I'd let the cutscene roll for a bit while I was, you know, in the middle of commentating, even though I did technically finish my sentence then, coincidentally, but still, I figured I'd let the cutscene roll at that point and just keep quiet while it's going to give you guys, like, you know, kind of like an insight on how it shows, like, the cutscenes as well. It's just a great example of how it just shows the footage really smooth at 1080p 60 FPS, and considering that this game was actually originally made at 60 FPS, I mean, imagine how it'd be like in 4K. Imagine playing this in 4K on the PC version on Steam. And as a matter of fact, I actually recently built myself a gaming PC, which I'm actually, you know, running this capture card on right now. And he decides to go up, but yeah, that's kind of like just a mechanic that, you know, makes him play funny. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, I recently built a gaming PC, and as some of you, and if some of you are watching my previous videos before that, and wow, that was a lucky escape. I was too caught up in my commentary in order to be concentrating on the game, but yeah. Whoa. But it's nice how that worked in my favor. But yeah, as I was saying, I recently built a gaming PC, and as some of you have recently, and if some of you have been keeping up with some of my recent videos, like in my Blue Yeti recording test, I've mentioned that on my actual laptop that I had for 5 years right now, you'll know that I mentioned that I was originally going to do a recording test with both the Blue Yeti and the Elgato game Capture HD60S, but it turns out that I couldn't even run this capture card effectively on my laptop. Like on my old system, it just showed up all corrupted on the whole Elgato software program. And yeah, I kind of feel a bit like a dick not rescuing all these Madokans, but it's just a recording test, so it doesn't really matter that much. And now that I've actually built my gaming PC, I can finally use this capture card properly, and it really displays it. And as I mentioned before, it really does display like the actual footage. Amazing. It really displays 1080p 66. I apologize for it. It really displays 1080p 60 FPS footage nicely. It's just really smooth, and I was just loving the preview of it, let alone the fact that, you know, it was actually working properly to an expectation where I expected to. And what's even better with this instant game view feature is that I don't even have to look at my TV while doing it. It's just amazing looking at this 4K monitor while playing the game, instead of just having to turn around looking at my TV just so I can see the gameplay in real time. Now I can just see the gameplay in real time just by looking at my PC monitor, which is also kind of essentially like a TV, but not entirely. I mean, you know, it clearly doesn't have a TV remote or anything, but I don't really need another TV at this point, really. Just the 4K monitor is more dedicated to gaming, to be completely honest. And as for playing this at 4K, I actually own the Steam version of this game as well, so there's a chance I might be, you know, playing this game or even recording this game in 4K in 4K on Steam at some point, but I'm not entirely sure. But you know, I hope to get around it soon. And also, right now, since I've actually built my brand new gaming PC, which is what I'm using right now, I actually plan to live stream a lot of my content, since I put in a lot of beefed up specs in this computer, like the Gigabyte Nvidia GeForce GTX 1080 Founders Edition graphics card in here. I also have an Intel Core i7 Skylake processor, 6th generation, which is also fucking amazing. And on top of that, I also have 32 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, yeah, I know 32 gigabytes of RAM doesn't seem that much. I know it seems like too much in some people's eyes, but then again, like, when you're making your own PC, it's just preference, really. So I just went for, you know, how I would personally like my PC to be. And RAM is certainly good for multitasking, so a great deal of RAM is really essential, especially in my opinion. So yeah, I know 16 gigabytes would at least be efficient, but you know, I reckon I'd just go for 32 just in case, and also to further improve on performance, and also to actually further future-proof my system as well. Like, my system's already like as future-proof as it is with the GTX 1080 and an Intel i7 Skylake processor put together, but you know, it's just amazing how I made this PC the best I can. And also, yeah, I played through the section I wanted to play, so that's pretty much this recording test over. Feel free to let me know like your opinions on the test, on how it went. Do you think the quality was smooth on your end? Do you think it's really worth getting the Elgato Game Capture HD60S? Well, telling by the performance, I personally reckon it's worth getting, especially if it's like kind of like a backup option if you can't get the HD Pro. But in my opinion, they're both, the HD60S and the HD60 Pro are both comparably reasonable, so I pretty much can't, they kind of sit on the same level, so I pretty much can't make that much of a big comparison between the two. But anyways, that's officially this test over. Feel free to subscribe, like, or rate, or however you want to put it, or comment below to leave your feedback on whether you think this test actually ran quite well on your end, and whether the capture card is really worth getting or not. And also feel free to also share it around with others in order to let them see this awesome preview that I've just cooked up right here. Thanks for watching. Laters everyone.